here I am just messing with my eyebrows. Like, oh God, I can never get them to match. And then I have to I heard someone say they're sisters, not twins. And then I give up because they're never going to be identical. If you guys struggle with eyebrows, you're welcome. Put that in your pocket. All right. So I'm just hopping on right now. I say hopping on. I'm going to be here for a minute, but I wanted to go over some of the things that we've been talking about for the last few days. If you follow me on Instagram, if you don't, you should. A lot goes down there. I'm trying to get better at TikTok. It's a New Year's resolution. But we've been discussing a lot of different things over there. And I think it's really important to mention that some things may not resonate with everybody. But when something does resonate with everybody, y'all go in. Like, the DMs are great. I mean, I'm just chatting away with everybody. The insight is fantastic. You're sharing your babies with me, your hearts, your thoughts, your insights. I think that's such a wonderful thing. I wish I could share every single person's DM, because here's what I've always said, and it's worth mentioning again, that I don't have all the answers. My thoughts and opinions and insights are not the end all be all. But I do find that talking about what others in the community think and say and do will resonate with everybody, because you're not alone in any of this. I think the number one thing after Brody died was I'm the only person on the planet who feels this way, and I'm a weirdo. I'm an alien on this weird earth. No one gets me. I have no idea what people are saying anymore. People would talk and I would just look at their mouths and be like, I don't understand anything you're saying. Nothing is landing for me. Oh, I'm so stressed at work. Are you? I have so much anxiety about this and that. Oh, you have anxiety? Oh, I'm so sorry. Oh, it was so hard to get out of bed today. I didn't sleep well. Oh, you didn't? Sorry. I was such a dick in the very beginning. Right after Brody died, I was such an asshole. I was like, fuck you and your easy life that you're living. You don't have to live with this. I just shut the fuck up. That's how I was. I'm not going to lie. Sometimes that happens in my head when someone's bitching about shit that I would totally trade with them. But look, everybody's entitled to have problems and challenges and to be able to vocalize them. And I've said this before, but if you sit in front of a lost mama and you bitch and you complain about something they would literally die for, you got the wrong audience. You got get up from that table. You know what, lost mama, you can get up from that table and be like, I cannot listen to this. That's okay. I'm a mom of livings. It's hard as shit, but I would never sit in front of another lost mama, even though I am one, and complain about that. That does not make any sense to me, because what you're doing is ruining their fucking day. Why would you ruin someone's fucking day? Why would you ruin someone's moment? Don't be that girl. Don't be that girl. That's what I've said to myself since the beginning of all of this. Don't be that girl that messes up someone's mood. Well, I mean, your presence might, because you were an absolute example of how shit happens. So even you just standing there breathing probably could mess up someone's mood, especially if it's a baby shower or something. I'm okay with it, because what can I do about it? But your attitude, your vibe, that's why when I'm feeling like shit, I stay away from people, because I just don't want to make anything worse. That's the thing. Just don't make anything worse. The one thing that I took from Brody's death, I took a lot of things from Brody's death, but the one thing that I kind of just thought I would do with his death is just try to make life a little bit easier for those around me or those going through something super freaking hard. Just try to make life a teeny bit easier, or if you can't, just please don't make it harder. Yeah, that's the motto. Because what else do you do with this? What else do you do with this? What else do you do with this pain, this loss, these lessons that you were forced to learn, the person that you were forced to become, and not even all that bad of a person. I know some pretty phenomenal people who have been through some massive traumas. And it's what do you do with that? The only thing you could do with it is just proceed throughout your life and throughout the world by just trying not to make anybody's day worse. try to make someone's life a teeny bit better. So Wolfie does a little bit better. But you're allowed to have shit days. My God, dude. My luteal phase, do you guys know what that is? I mean, I didn't... True story, I wasn't entirely sure how the female system worked until, like, I started A, tracking, and B, getting pregnant and losing and all that. So, like, you have... I might mess this up, actually. But anyway, to my understanding... Your cycle starts day 1 of your period. Not like a trickle, but like your full flow. Didn't know that part. So I was like, day 1 was like a little bit of a spot. No. I was told by a doctor it's full flow. So, okay, day 1's full flow. 3, 4, 5, 6 days later, you start getting into your follicular phase. Follicles, follicular, I don't know, maybe they're filling up with eggs. I haven't entirely researched that part. But all I know is that you feel pretty good. Like, you feel like maybe creative and extroverted, and you feel pretty good. Then comes ovulation, and you're on the prowl, ma'am. Like, you're hungry, you're going out, you just want to pounce, because obviously you're ovulating. That's like nature, right? God bless. Then ovulation ends, and then starts the luteal phase. Okay, bitch, I'm a psychopath. Pretty sure it's PMDD, premenstrual dysphoric disorder. Pretty sure I've undiagnosed PMDD because. Oh my God, I'm like not creative, don't want to talk to anybody, hate myself, want to go to bed, cry easily. And I'm like, oh, my period's coming in a week. Like I know exactly, it's going to be here in exactly a week because I'm a psychopath. My husband's like, your period's coming, isn't it? Because like, what is going on with you? Actually now at this point, he doesn't even say anything. He just stays out of my way. I will say when I started the ketamine infusion therapy, that actually, I had no PMDD. I didn't. It just completely fixed it. I don't know if it leveled. I also was on tirzepatide, which could be like getting my hormones back, and I'm off the tirzepatide right now, and I don't know which one it was, but like it went away for a little while, and I was like, okay, I'm normal. Whoa, this last one, horn sprouted. It doesn't mix well with grief and trauma, I will be honest with you. It actually makes grief so much worse. And people don't believe me when I say that, but like later on, once you get out of the acute grief and trauma stage where the pain is just horrendous, usually that's the trenches, and then you get into your temporary reality, which is the first year after loss, and you're just trying to survive. After that, if like one day you're like sobbing and you just cannot figure out why, check your cycle because you have grief, you have trauma, you are allowed to cry, you're going to feel emotions, you're sad as hell, the pain is terrible. But if it's like uncontrollable, it's most likely your cycle because we're still women and we'd be lunatics even without grief and trauma. Well, I would, even without grief and trauma. So I didn't expect to do a biology lesson, but that's pretty much how the podcast is, right? You know, some people have, cracks me up when podcasters have notes. I'm like, I'd try. I just tangent off because of, I guess, ADHD. And not that I have it, I'm not diagnosed, but there will be signs. And then I posted yesterday that someone said my stories on Instagram are emotional whiplash. And I'm like, that's my life. It's just up and down and in and out. And basically, if you know me, you signed up for this. And then also it kills me when like podcasters wear like the giant headset for when it's a solo episode. You guys know why we wear headsets, right? Like it's to echo of the guest, so it doesn't pick up on the microphone. So it's got these big, whatever, to each their own. I used to wear those big ass like cream colored ones because that was the thing. It's no longer the thing. This cracks me up. Podcasting is interesting, isn't it? It's like going into more video now. So like here I am on YouTube. Because I feel like there are different audiences doing different things while they're listening. And there's different age groups that, I don't even know age groups. Like my brother, he's not that much younger than me. He loves YouTube. This guy, all his shit on YouTube. I listen to Spotify, but I also have I listen to Joe Rogan. I'm not going to lie to you. And I can't seem to find another one that doesn't make me so anxious. Like I can't, even the reality ones, the sound of some people's voices, I'm like, I'm going to just take my car into the median. Jokes, I joke, I kid. So anyway, this week has been kind of nuts. Wolfie went back to school. And if you guys know, Wolfie is my 2.5-year-old. I had him after Brody. So he's my second son, but he's my first living son. And he started back to school on Wednesday. So last year he started going to school, 2-year-old program, 3 days a week, 3 hours a day, just because, to be honest with you, I think it's really good for his development. He absolutely loves it. He's a boy. He's got energy. He's like, he loves school. He's learned so much. He's talking full sentences. Like I love him so much. But started like this past September, he would get sick, like, because I guess flu virus season. I don't know what they're spraying us with. It's another episode. And he would get sick, like a sniffle or a cold, and then he would go into respiratory distress within 8 to 12 hours later. And I was like, what the hell is going on? Meanwhile, his first 2 years of life, he would get sick and he would just have a normal cold or a virus and he would be fine. All of a sudden, he's respiratory distress. And if you don't know what respiratory distress looks like, it's like a pulling. You could see them pulling in the lungs, and they're like really fast, and they wheeze, and it's horrible to witness. The first time I flipped my shit. Emergency room, let's go now. What ended up happening was they kind of loosely diagnosed him with asthma. I talked about this before, but just in case you didn't hear that episode, because his lungs would constrict, and asthma is not a thing. Asthma is a response to a thing, like some sort of environmental or virus trigger. So he was technically having asthma, but anyway, I still don't know what it is, but this is what was happening. So we've been to the hospital September, October, November, December, 2 overnight stays. Actually, the first time he went to the hospital was 2 or 3 nights. And then they gave us like a controller inhaler and then a rescue inhaler. So we implemented that. Those didn't seem to work. We're getting a lot of contradictory opinions from the pediatrician's office, who I love, but they've got their ways. And then the ER doctors and then the actual resident doctors, is that what you call them? In-house doctors on the CHOA Children's Hospital floor. To the point, the fourth time we were in there, I was like, can we see a pulmonary specialist? And they ended up giving us one, and now we see that person. And he's been kind of directing us. And his allergy panels all came back clear. So he doesn't have an allergy to like the 50 things they tested him for. Did you know mice pee was an allergy? Didn't know that. Anyway. And then they upped his controller dose. I don't love having him on these steroids. Quite frankly, I hate it. I'm like borderline scrunchy where I'm like, if I don't have to pump you with shit I don't need to pump you with, I'm not going to, but I'll 100% put some Motrin on your ass if you're hurting. So I'm in the middle big time, and I read a lot and I research a lot, and I just try to be open-minded to all remedies, preventatives, and anything to help. So I'm kind of looking into like maybe seeing some sort of functional holistic pediatrician or medical doctor. I don't know, because what I'm getting right now from pulmonary is like, we don't know what this is. And the next step is a scope. So I have to put him under. We're going to see if it's a structure issue. But anyway, he'll just grow out of it. And I'm like, this is a lot to put onto a 2.5-year-old. I'm still figuring it out. Apparently he'll grow out of this. Right now it's a waiting game. I'm doing my absolute best, pumping him full of vitamins and immune support, sleep, good food. I've started making his food from scratch. It is fucking hard. I mean, I'm trying. These kids put down some food. I can't keep up. And I'm trying really hard to make their food from scratch, to not have any disgusting crap in it, because even the healthy brands have some disgusting crap. It's exhausting, you guys. Like, I don't know your thoughts on any of this, but like, it really feels like there's not many options anymore to stay healthy. So I'm doing everything I can. And if you get sick, it's a waiting game. We have a plan in place. If it doesn't work, we'll go back to the last time I took him to urgent care, and they were able to get it under control with a 20-minute nebulizer session. So the key is catching it pretty early. I know the signs. I know what's going to happen. And now I'm doing my absolute best. Here's the thing about parenting after a loss. And you know what? This was a really long fucking story for what I started to say. Basically, I wanted to control everything. I wanted to try my best when Wolfie was born to not let him get hurt. First of all, he did 5 weeks in the NICU. Like, can you freaking believe my living baby after a loss had to go to the NICU for 5 weeks? So, like, a woman who was terrified of, like, exposing him to things and pumping him full of shit and, like, giving him crap formula. First 5 weeks of life, here you go. I don't know if that is why he's having these issues. I know of other babies that have these issues that weren't NICU babies. I'm not entirely sure what's going on. I don't know. I may never know, but I wanted to keep him in a little bubble. I didn't want him to get sick. I was terrified of him getting sick. I was terrified of getting hurt. Well, guess what? He got every virus under the sun, sick as hell several times, and he, quite frankly, scared the shit out of us, falling a couple of times. So we ended up at the hospital, at the ER. Now, everything was fine. He battled those illnesses like a champ. He handled the other problems like a champ. And then the doctors were like, you can't keep him in a bubble. This is going to happen. So, in speaking to my therapist about this, basically I learned I cannot control everything. I cannot keep him from getting sick or hurt. I can do my absolute best to make sure he stays safe. That creates a lot of anxiety because your mind goes, illness equals death. Falling equals death. Everything equals death because why? I've already lost a child. So yes, my mind will go there. It's getting better because of lived experiences. The first time he's ill, the second time, the third. Now I'm kind of getting the hang of this. I'm still absolutely terrified. Don't get me wrong. He coughs in the middle of the night. I'm standing over his crib. You good? You breathing? You okay? Monitor cranked up full volume. Your girl's not sleeping. Worth it, okay? This is just where we're at. Now I'm telling you right now, getting a plan in place, though, has helped. I have the meds. I have the plan. I have the emergency speed dial to the doctor. I have the nurse's number. I know exactly where to go at the hospital, the ER. I know exactly where the urgent care is. I have my shit ready in it if and when shit goes down. That has helped a little bit. So, like, I'm not completely spiraling because I believe I have a decent plan in place to keep him okay if he gets sick. Yeah. That's my only piece of advice in parenting after loss. And just know you're doing your absolute best. You're not a shit mom. You're not a shit mom. You are doing your absolute best. Like, trust me, I blame my, we shouldn't go to school and keep him in the house. And So anyway, we're doing our best, especially parenting after loss. It's absolutely terrifying. I get it. And I don't know. I mean, we're all just doing our best, honestly. Oh, God. This was hot coffee. I'm on a hot coffee kick. Send help. What's going on? Well, I'll tell you what's going on. The absolute bloat that was happening from the holidays, the food and drinks were of epic proportions. Your bitch was like, coffee creamer, get away from me for at least a week. Bitch has to detox. That's what it is. Oof, it was not cute. It was fun. No, it's not cute. This mug says, strange as you might be yourself. And on the back it says, for we are God's masterpiece, Ephesians 2:10. Have you guys heard of Joyce Myers? My mother is a big fan. She's like 90 and crushing it. She's a Christian speaker, I would say, and a thought leader. She suffered tremendous abuse from her own father during her childhood, and would pray every day to God, like, get me out of here, and God didn't. But she still remained loyal, and now can speak the scripture and the Bible, like, boom, boom, boom. She's written so many books. I didn't really know anything about her until my mom was like, you need to listen to Joyce Myers. And I took my mom to a show right after Brody died. And it was amazing. It was like she was speaking right to me. It was pretty incredible. She's funny. I really dig the woman. I think she's cool as far as her teachings go and the way that she just vibes through life. Really, really inspired by her sometimes. I don't listen to her all the time, but the times that I have, like, I really really get something out of what she's saying, especially because of what she's been through, and she still remained a loyal follower to God and Jesus. And that just kind of rolls. I did not plan to segue like this, but look at me. The conversation on my Instagram has been about God and faith after loss. And that is a really sacred and personal conversation that we have with ourselves. And I really appreciate you guys sharing your insights on this. Now, I kickstarted the conversation with basically telling you guys that I get messages a lot that are saying things like, by the grace of God, my baby made it safely. My baby was fine. We're so blessed. God was looking out for my child. They remained unharmed. That sucks to hear, because guess what that sounds like to me? If you're saying God, our God, my God, your God was looking out for your baby so much so that your baby was saved, that means he was not looking out for mine because my baby was not saved. That's what it sounds like. My God does not cause suffering. That's what I believe. That's also what a tremendous amount of you believe, what you have messaged. Look, I'm not even going to front. I grew up Catholic school for 12 years, remained loyal to my church, a Christ follower. I may not have done everything in my Catholic church, like confession, I didn't do whatever. I'm a Catholic, but like I'm not like hardcore, but like I had a good relationship with God. I trusted God. I prayed. I talked to him all the time. I thanked him. The gratitude was immense. When Brody died, it felt like betrayal from my God. It felt like a punishment. It felt like God did it on purpose. And I kind of took a step back and was very, very mad. I was very, very angry with him. How could you do this? How could you let my son die? How could you do this to me? How could you end his life? Because don't forget, your baby's life is the one that ended. This happened to your baby. You were just their mother. Their own story has ended. And then I went to our priest at our church, and he was like, there's really no scripture around stillbirth. There's really no teachings other than the baby goes right to heaven. And I was like, but I have so many questions. And it took me a while and a lot of conversations. Actually, on this podcast, if you haven't listened to the one with Nikki, I really recommend you listen to the one with Nikki and Skylar, her daughter. God, I do not feel we have a God that picks and chooses. Oh, this child's going to suffer. This one's not. This child's going to save their parents from suffering by dying and going back. This one's going to live a horrible life. This one's going to die by abuse and murder. And you cannot tell me our God does that. That doesn't make sense. Oh, he died because maybe he's being spared a life of pain. And what? So what about the ones that were born? And what about the babies all over the world that are born into pain and suffering? I just don't. And that ain't for me. Some mamas actually messaged me that they do believe that there was nothing they could do to stop the death of their baby, that it was happening, it was inevitable. See, okay, this is where I'm not entirely sure of my beliefs on this. But my point is that you are allowed to believe whatever brings you comfort. You are allowed to believe whatever brings you comfort. But if you are wrestling with the idea that God chose your baby to die and chose you to suffer, and you, because you're being punished or because you're not supposed to be a mom, or no, that's not what this is. A life on earth as a human is a life of suffering. Nobody promised that life was going to be easy. I'm like, someone mentioned the book of Job in my DMs. Highly recommend just looking that up. That man suffered. I will say I was asking for things. I was praying. I was asking for, please save my baby. Please make sure he gets here okay. Please this, for these good things. My praying has changed since then. My praying has changed since then. I pray for wisdom. I pray for strength. I pray for God to speak through the people that I'm talking to so that I may make decisions. If Brody was supposed to die no matter what, not by God's hand, but because that was his fate, and that God knew that was going to happen, so he walked with me through it. He prepared me for it. He gave me the strength to get... I don't know. That I don't know, and I don't think I'm supposed to know. I think that's something you find out when you show up at heaven and you're like, what happened here, dude? I don't know that answer. And I think a lot of times that is, for me, I believe that things happen based off luck, timing, and science. Having a living baby is based off luck, timing, and science. The stories I've heard. Oh, the doctor stopped by and just glanced at the machine and noticed a dip in the heart rate and immediately got the baby out. So you're saying, had the doctor not stopped in for that 4 seconds, your baby would have died. Cool. I heard once that maybe there is a plan for all of us, but that death interrupts it. I don't know that either. All I know is that I do not believe God chose my baby to die. I do not believe God chose me to suffer. Not just me, his father, his grandmother, his aunt, his uncles, I don't believe that all of us were chosen to suffer. But I believe God stayed with me through it. God took the skills and the gifts that I have and he amplified them so that I can hold this microphone and I can help others walk through the worst thing that might ever happen to them. There's other shit things that can happen, but right now, this is the worst thing that's ever happened to me. I don't know. I am going to get someone on to provide an insight and have some really good conversations about this. I always love, they could just say one sentence. I'm like, healed! I got it! Hell yes! Whatever brings you comfort, though, I'm all for. If you believe that this was God's plan and God took your baby and this was the plan and and that makes you comfortable, fantastic. But I urge you to consider those who were chosen to live a life of suffering or were murdered in horrific ways. I truly do not believe that that was God's plan. Someone said we're not God's puppets. Found that to be, 2 people said that in my DMs. I found that to be a very interesting line. I've never heard that before. Meaning God's not up there moving us around and maneuvering us at his own will. He gave us free will. So I started Bible study this year. I'm no savant, but I'm starting to read Genesis and I'm starting to interpret Genesis. And God gave us free will. Do you know why he gave us free will? According to the teachings, he gave us free will so that we can choose to love him even in the midst of our suffering. If he didn't give us free will and we were just supposed to follow him like robots and we just love him no matter what, that's not what he wanted. He wants us to choose him. He wants us to choose in his path, choose to live in his light. So, me being a human on earth, experiencing profound loss and profound suffering, with my free will, I have chosen to lean into him and the good that he represents. Yeah. Because I could have gone the other way. I could have gone drugs, asshole, destructive shit. It could get way worse. But I'm choosing to live in his likeliness, and that is free will. Now, with that free will comes everybody around me. The doctor had the free will to speak however she wanted to and choose to do whatever she needed to do during the appointment that he was alive. And then I should have died. I had a 40% chance of survival when I hemorrhaged. That doctor had free will to make the decisions that she needed to make. Life's a bitch, huh? But it also can be beautiful, and you're catching me in a good moment where I'm having a brave day, I'm having a brave moment. Lost Mama said that to me once. She said, do things on your brave days. Or do things when you're having a brave moment. Those were the moments that I unpacked the shower gifts that we got for Brody, and I redecorated the nursery and hop on a podcast. Like, I'm feeling brave, you know? And my ultimate bravery is this book I'm putting out. I submitted the final manuscript last night to my editor. It's not the final one that's going to the publisher, but my editor is going to take a look and tear it up, hopefully. Because, like, right after Brody died, I started to just take notes of what I was feeling. Because there were so many things that I was experiencing that I felt like I was alone in. But then after having conversations and the podcast and posting and people, I found out that a lot of the things I was experiencing were very universal things. And I wish I had a guidebook. And everyone kept saying, there's no rule book or guidebook on how to do this. And I was like, well, there should be one. Because this is the worst year of my life. This is the shittiest year. This is the shittiest. The first thing I said was, how the fuck do I do this? How do I do this? How do I get out of this car and from the hospital without Brody and go into that house? What happens next? What am I feeling? Why do I feel this? Is this wrong? Am I doing this wrong? How do I do this? And it wasn't until I was connected with other lost moms who were basically saying, well, what you're feeling is normal. This is what happened to me. This is my insight. And I did that for a whole year of having conversations. And I still do that. There's this one lost mama. Alyssa, if you're listening, I love you. She is the voice of the future for me. Whenever I'm like, hey, mamas who have been doing this, she's been doing this way longer than me. She gives me insight on what's normal and what's not. Like, hey, I cried in the shower. Should I still be doing this? She's like, bitch, yes. And we need that. And I've said this before. I got grief coach certified. Coach is it's an interesting word, but it's a universal term that people get. But I'm more of like a grief companion, I would say, or grief guide. Like, I'm holding your hand right next to you. And got that certification, which was great. It was weird, but it was great. And then I'm going through grief educator certification with David Kessler, who I highly regard in all aspects of grief. He covers all grief. And I'm just sitting there like, so much of this does not pertain to me. I experienced so many different things after stillbirth, after term stillbirth. Like, where's the chapter in this grief education where you want to go look at the photos of your baby because you are running out of them, but you can't because their skin tore off and it's too traumatizing? Where's that? Did you just hear what I just said? Jesus. Sometimes it feels like a dream. Sometimes it feels like it didn't happen. And I know if you're new in loss, you're like, wow, I can't believe you're saying that, because this is my nightmare every single day, my reality every single day. With time, y'all, you know what happened, but like, it starts to become like, holy shit, that happened? Jesus. I think I talked about this last episode. And I'm not going to sugarcoat it for you guys. Life is beautiful. Life is grand. Life is wonderful because I dug myself out and continuously dig myself out. This was the last episode to get to that place. But I'm not going to lie to you when I tell you it still brings me to my knees sometimes. It really does. And I would be worried if it did not. But you're also allowed to pocket this shit away if you're in a particular phase of life where this is not good for you. And I've talked about this before. If you're pregnant after loss and you're just trying to get to that finish line, you don't need to go there with any of this. You don't need to talk about death. You don't need to talk about loss. You do not. Protect yourself. If you're in a dark place, I was actually in a good place earlier this year. I don't know if you guys have listened to the podcast like last year like somewhere around like June, I decided to like change the name and the intro, and I was going to go like a whole different, and then I was like, what the fuck are you doing? I went through it, and unfortunately I did it in front of all you guys, but it happens. Part of that is business and marketing. I'm not going to lie. Like, your girl is moving forward into making this full time. There's the business. There's a thing about it that I have to pay attention to. It's a little strange. It's also just how my brain works. And I went like AWOL, and then I came back. I was like, what the fuck are you doing? It's at a total loss. Whatever. You like my sweatshirt? Isn't it cute? At a total loss. I'm contemplating shutting down the store because it's kind of a pain in the ass. There were so many problems. And I was like so upset. Like, somebody didn't get their sweatshirt. And I was like, God, no, this is supposed to be easy. But it's nice to have it in case you guys want to rep the brand and rep the podcast. But these are on my At a Total Loss shop. Yeah, so this book has been something I've been working on for 3.5 years. It's bullet point. It's not bullet points, but it's chapters of the things that I experienced in the first year after Brody died. All the firsts. You know, the early days after, the physical recovery from labor and birth, the first period, the milk coming in, the first OB appointment back, the checkup. It's just basically, and then it goes into like holidays, milestones, your birthday, their birthday. It goes into relationship loss, the types of relationship fallouts, your partner's grief. And it goes into like the physical toll that grief has, self-care, disassociation versus distractions, like medications, therapies. I talk about everything, and I'm very upfront and raw about my experiences. It's a memoir guide. So it starts with Brody's story in all its horrendous glory. Oof, that was challenging to write because there's details that I have forgotten. That was hard. And then with each chapter or each section, I do give you some insight as to my own experiences. It's the book that I wish I had. I was given books right after the hospital when I got home, and like they were very fluffy. And I was like, this feels gnarly and violent, and I need somebody to tell me that this is what this is. And it's in my own voice. My editor has toned down on the fucks that I put in there, but they're in there. And I hope it helps. Even if you're not in the first year after losing your baby, I think it does help to reflect on the things you've experienced and gain some validation if you've never gotten it before. Because if you're anything like me, to this day, I still need a mom to be like, yes, bitch, I feel the same way. I hate that for you and I hate that for us, but I need someone to be like, you're not alone. Even 4 years out. Oh my God, 4 years. Brody's birthday is January 18th. What's today? What is today? I don't even know what today is. Okay, 11 days. Wait, 9 days. Jesus. I just got chills all over my body. We're not having the gala on his birthday, like I said, and Michael wants to go to a brewery and do a cake. And what's so weird is that, like, I don't really know what to do. Like, Michael does, though, and I'm letting him do that. I got the podcast and the book and content and coaching. Oh, God, you guys, I'm launching a coaching series. God, not coaching. It's the Stillbirth Survival Guided Series. It's going to be a live, in-person, drop-in every week for anybody who is going through the first 12 months after their baby has died. And we're going to have certain topics that we're going to discuss. So that's going to be launching really soon. I haven't announced the dates yet, but you will know when that would happen. Always go to katherinelazar.com and check for updates, or my Instagram for updates. Always posting there. I'm letting Michael do it. And I feel like the birthday's his. Like, Brody, he can handle Brody's birthday. I'm okay with that. And I need the direction. I'm kind of at like a loss. I don't know. Like, Wolfie's pointing and being like, hey, Brody, like to his picture. I'm like, what? I didn't teach him that. Michael did. I don't know why. I still am having a really hard time with that. I don't know. Maybe it's because Trey is only like 17 months. Like, so maybe I just still in that baby thing. I don't know, dude. I don't know. I know some moms do it easier than others, but it's not coming easy for me. I'm not going to lie to you. I know it will, but it's just not right now. So I'm letting Michael do it. It's okay to delegate. It's okay to give your partner something to do, especially if you have dove into social media or a project or a foundation or a charity or whatever it is. It's okay to give them something. The dads need an outlet as well. But do know that for me personally, Michael has handled this way differently than me. But he does understand. Like, we were sitting in Trey's room. They were playing in there, and Brody's picture's on the wall in Trey's room. It's just been there. It's like we put him up right after right after we had him, right after, then like the first year, and they just never came down. And you kind of like forget that they're there. You've seen them every single day, multiple times. I don't know. And Michael was like, Wolfie, who's that? Wolfie's like, that's Brody. And I lost it. This was 2 nights ago. I'm a mom looking at her baby's photo. Yeah. Anyway, just trying to validate how you feel. You're not alone in any of this, honestly. So the book should be coming out in May. I'm a nervous wreck only because I need it to be what you need. I need it to be what we need, and I am putting a lot of pressure on myself. I'm trying so hard to include everything, but I can't include everything. I'm only including my experiences. So if there is an experience of yours that is not included, that is not because I'm excluding you and I'm not thought of you. That's just because it wasn't my experience. And there are plenty of resources out there, probably with your own experience. I can only speak to mine. So finishing touches are going on. It's being submitted January 15th. I'm going to barf. But I need y'all's help when it comes out. We got to flood the ratings. We're going to need y'all's help. And like, I will be talking a lot about it in the lead up days, in April. And I know you guys are there to support me. I know you are. And I love you guys for that. And I can't tell you how massive it is when y'all message me that what I'm putting out is meaningful, because it takes a lot of time, only because I don't just like throw it in Chat GPT and then copy paste. I can't do that. I can't do that to you. I can't do that to me. I can't do that to Brody. So I meticulously go over a lot of the stuff that I put up. And it takes a long time to create, and I do it with you personally in mind. So when you guys DM that it matters, it means the absolute world that I can help in the smallest way. And I remember right after Brody, I had no words for how I was feeling. I had no freaking clue how to put into words because I didn't even know if it was normal or not. But when I would see somebody write something that I felt so deeply, I would just repost it. And so my audience was like, oh, this bitch is not crazy. This is actually a thing, you know? That was really important to me. So I hope I can be that for y'all. And look, I'm still trying to get us all together. I need to meet y'all. I need to hug y'all. I mean, come on. The goal is to have a summit in Atlanta next year. That's the goal. So as soon as I submit this book, I'm going to be putting sights towards that. And hopefully get you guys here. And you guys should meet it. It's just so good for the soul. I know it is. I know there's a lot of retreats going on around the country, especially there's some mamas in Canada doing it. I think that's fantastic. I just think mine might be a little different. I do believe for me personally that I need I would like the vibe to be a little different. And I think that's good to have variety in this space. There's a lot of us out here talking about our feelings and posting and content and hosting and providing things and resources. And I love that so much. And what I love the most about it is that everyone's vibe is different, because you're not going to vibe with everybody. I don't vibe with everybody. And I think it's so important to have that. And you're going to go through different vibes throughout your lost life, your phases. I mean, a lot of moms were like, hey, listen, right out the gate, your dark humor was too fucking much for me. And I'm like, hey, no harm, no foul. You're here now, you know? And for me, the fluffiness was too much for me in the very beginning, but now I like the fluffiness because it makes me feel like when I feel fluffy, I'm not alone in that. And when you are 4 years out, you feel like you should be done with the fluffy. Well, I feel like that because I fucking put so much pressure on myself. But no, I'm not going to be done with the fluffy, not ever. So the fluffy works for me right now, but it did in the beginning. So you know what I'm saying? Like there's an evolution to all of this. And, you know, I don't know if you guys are here for it or not, but like I want to start posting like some random shit. Like I might, because I'm making bread. Your girl's back in the kitchen, which I took a big break from, but I'm back in the kitchen and it's fun and I enjoy it. So hopefully you're here for the stuff that I'm doing now in my life, even though I'm here to help every single one of you struggling in the early days, weeks, months, and years. Yeah. Takes a village, don't it? Takes a village to raise a baby, takes a village to parent a dead one. Yeah. But keep the DMs coming, you guys. I really love them and I love your insights. And even if you don't agree with me, that's okay. That's okay. Not everyone's going to agree with everything I say. I'd be worried if you'd have anyway, we all are multi-layered and the experiences are way different. Personally, like, I'm still trying to declutter this damn house. I'm still trying to get it organized. Why the fuck can't I get it done? You know what I did? I was like, you know what? I need something now. I can't go to a furniture store and order it. It's going to take 6 to 8 weeks. So what did I do? Ordered shit off Amazon. It came in a box. This is a whole freaking cabinet. Came in a flat box shorter than me because I needed it now. And guess what? It's been sitting there for a week. I should have just fucking gone and ordered the real furniture and have it delivered with white gloves because what am I going to do? I'm going to put this together with a drill. Actually, that sounds nice. I'm not going to lie. I do love my power drill. But I need to get my nails done because they are getting ridiculous. Look at this. You guys remember when I posted these? They're still on. I'm actually quite impressed at how well they've kept up because I knocked the shit out of them. But that's my point. If I'm going to put together a cabinet, I'm not going to go get my nails done. But I need to get them done. So I'm going to go try to put together a cabinet later. I'm definitely going to film that for you guys. Look away if you need to. I don't know. Fuck. Because guess what? We are still humans and moms and women and just trying to do the damn thing and do it well. That's what I'm trying. That's also what I want to show you guys is that you don't always have to mourn. You don't always have to grieve. You don't always have to talk about the death. You don't always have to talk about your baby. You don't always. That's something that I learned in the very beginning because I was like, oh my God, an hour went by. I didn't cry and I didn't talk about Brody. Fuck, I'm a terrible mom. You can't. You just can't. It's not sustainable. So we're all just living the dream, doing the damn thing. And it's okay if you and I talk about other things. It's okay if you and I talk about how hard being a woman is. It's okay if you and I talk about, hey, I'm really enjoying this show right now. That's okay. I love that. I love connecting with you guys because guess what? Everything that we do comes from a place of loss, comes from a lost lens, and comes from a place of broken hearts. So I love hearing from you guys what you like because I might like it too. If you're like, hey, don't watch that show. That show was shit. I might be like, you're probably right. I'm not going to watch it because I fucking trust you because you have a dead baby. That's where we're at. That's where we're at. Okay, I got to go get Wolfie from school. I hope this helps. This is going to, hopefully this came out on Monday. If you're listening to this on Monday, yay, I did it. That's the goal. All right, I love you guys. You know where to find me, and I will see you soon.